welcome to day 3 of the Restore and Recover series. Today's focus is going to be on our back. Of course, we might get a little bit of our chest opening and heart opening in addition to the back, but primarily targeted towards the back. And without further ado, again, we have many different variations and options as usual, but if y'all do have a prop or have even a pillow that looks like this, or perhaps any kind of pillow as a cushion, it is optional, but again, I like to throw a little bit of variations out there. So if you'd like to grab a prop today, feel free to grab it now. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. And we're gonna go ahead and come down onto our free space today. And we're gonna go ahead and either using the bolster or pillow. So with the bolster or pillow, we're gonna go ahead and place our elbows onto the pillow surface here. So we're gonna go ahead and step back and bringing our belly onto our floor here. And now from here, this is going to be our sphinx pose, or we're gonna get deeper for those of my friends who wants to get deeper. But starting here, for those of us who want to adjust the arms, you can feel free to bring the elbows a little bit away from you to ease off in the back here. But if you like to get a little bit more deeper, you can bring your elbows in close to you and your hands here are shoulder distance apart on the bolster or pillow. And again, your feet and your toes are flat on the floor and looking in the level of the horizon here, just in that neutral position, keeping the neck and the spine in a nice, beautiful alignment, and making sure you're not sinking your shoulders into your ears and you're pressing away. And we're holding here, perhaps with your eyes open or closed today. Now, for my friends who are not using the bolster or pillow, it might look very, very similar. We're just gonna place the elbows and the palms down here and just settling here in this pose without the prop. Now, for my friends who want to get deeper into the back, and we're going to go ahead and press your palms down onto the floor, but notice my fingertips are pointed outside. So my right fingertips are pointed to the right side, and my left fingertips are going to be pointed to the left side. So here we're going to find a nice neutral base for your palms to settle onto the floor. Again, this pose is a really, really hard one, because you want to, as you get tired, your shoulders are going to want to sink down into your ears. So it's going to be up and away. So trying to really force but bringing yourself up and away. So this pose allows you to get very, very deep, but it will get intense very, very quickly. So again, my friends who want to take it less intense, just come onto your elbows here. And again, you can always adjust those palms. You can come off a little bit less on your back here and the spine. So really finding a nice, stable and neutral ground for yourself today. Once you find a perfect posture for what you're feeling and what you're calling for today, you can feel free to just gently keep those eyes open, soften the gaze, soften the facial features here, or completely bringing your eyes into a close. Really feeling your facial features gently relax with every breath, and allowing your shoulders to be heavy and away from the head, the ears, and allowing your neck to be gently supported here, trying to draw less attention into our head and our neck and more attention into our back today. With every breath, really feeling a nice lengthening through the crown of the head, and seeing if you can get a little bit more space with every breath for your back, your shoulders, and feeling a nice opening and deepening into our back. More and more time that we stay in this pose, allowing gravity to do most of the work here, allowing your body to be heavy, but also a feeling of upliftedness with this pose, where our heart is a little bit more lifted from the earth and lifted up towards the beautiful and nourishing sky above us. Taking a nice deep inhalation through the nose and complete exhalation out through the mouth, keeping the breath nice, deep, and heavy, so it really flows through our internal organs, flows into potential areas of soreness or tension, and really drawing awareness into those areas. If you do feel any kind of tension today, with every breath, see if you can soften those areas. Beautiful work, everyone. We'll stay here for a couple more moments before transitioning to the next pose. Last opportunity to get a little bit deeper with the breath and the posture here. And on your next exhalation, slowly, if you were in the more intense seal position, coming all the way back down onto your elbows. And if you were in the sphinx pose, feel free to gently bring your cheek one side down, bringing both palms together, stacking them like a nice pillow here. And you can perhaps just gently hold yourself in this position with both legs out and away from the midline, or if you feel any tension that you'd like to address in the low back today, you can feel free with the same side your cheek is facing, your same leg will be bent here to relieve potential areas of tension. And just staying here and taking a moment of rest, allowing your body to resettle. Again, not forcing anything and not speeding through anything. This series is meant to be a recovery time, a time for reflection, and a time to just allow your body to heal, to be nourished, and giving more time, which is so valuable in our everyday, fast-paced lives. Just take a moment for yourself, a little bit longer moment, to appreciate your body and all the hard work that it does for us on a daily basis. If you did have that one cheek on that one side and the leg bent, feel free to switch sides and do both sides evenly. Or if you just had your legs extended and your cheek on one side, bring it to the other side and allow the other side of the neck to gently release with the back here. Taking a couple more moments on the floor to reset the spine and the neck. And using the breath to gently massage into areas of tension that you may have today, to soften those areas a little bit deeper with the depth of the breath today. We'll take one more full cycle of breath here in this pose. And on your next exhalation, bringing your head back into neutral. If you had your knees bent, feel free to extend it back now. Reset, tucking your toes down and your palms down onto the floor. Press firmly away from the floor. And we're gonna go ahead and come into our next position, where we're gonna be really extending through the spine, the back, and all the muscles that are related to your back posterior chain, especially on the upper part. So we're gonna go ahead and come into different variations again. First position, the one that I'm going to be introducing, is the puppy pose. A lot of people like to call it, but it is a melting heart pose, which I like to call it. So many different names for similar positions, but we're gonna go ahead and tuck the toes down here. From here, we're starting in a tabletop, reverse tabletop position, and we're gonna go ahead and come and walk your hands as far as is very comfortable here, as much as you can. It can get quite intense if you decide to go too far out, so finding a good medium where it's not too close to your body, but also not too far. So once you find a good position, mine is about 3 hands distance away from my midline here. We're gonna slowly and gently bring your elbows down onto the floor, making sure, again, your hand distance and placement is shoulder distance. It can be a little further away from shoulder distance, but a lot of my clients also tend to feel some kind of strain in the shoulders. So making sure to paying attention to that and trying to keep it in that nice neutral position that feels comfortable. And from here, either placing your forehead down if that feels comfortable for the head and the neck, all the way down to the floor here. Or if for some reason it does not feel comfortable, you can feel free to keep your chin onto the floor if that one feels more comfortable. But for a lot of people, bringing the chin down does place a little bit more of a strain for the neck. So just paying attention to that. But again, your body might be different. So again, you can come onto your chin here, holding onto the chin on the floor, or gently pressing that forehead down onto the floor here. Now, for some of us, we might already feel a beautiful opening for the back. And at the same time, we're simultaneously pushing your hips up and back and towards your heels. So it's a very active position where we're not just staying in a more neutral, but we're shifting your hips back and bringing your back into a more elongated form where you feel that nice, beautiful stretch while stretching your fingertips away that way. So essentially imagine like you're gonna break the mat away, so you're consistently pulling in 2 different directions to lengthen that back. All right, so once we address this here, you can either stay here in this position. Another option we can do is to get a little bit deeper and bending into the elbows here, bringing your palms together. And here we're pushing your elbows down while simultaneously bringing the fingertips now back towards that hip here, where you're gonna feel a beautiful lat stretch in addition to our back here, which is closely related here. So if this variation feels right for you today, feel free to stay here. Now, for those of us who for some reason trying to do this position and it's a little too intense today, again, just listening to your body here, you can come into a traditional child's pose. So just bringing your hips back down to the floor and lengthening through the arms, but actively engaging your body here, like I mentioned before, by bringing your fingertips further out and in front of you, while simultaneously bringing your hips to sink down a little bit deeper now to the heels. So it is a more active stretch here than a traditional child's pose where you just kind of neutrally lie down and just rest. But again, listening to your body today and taking the variation that feels right for you. Once we find a nice position, staying in that position, we're holding for a little bit longer here. An option to take a mudra here with the arms and just gently rest into a settled position. Again, with yin yoga, we want to aspire to find the position that we can hold for longer periods of time. Really allowing your body to find the most deepest form that your body can hold for longer periods of time, which is where the yin yoga comes into play, where we feel balanced. We feel nourished, without forcing, of course, and allowing the body to explore the depth of each pose with every breath that we take, and allowing gravity to get and help us to get into that deepest form that we aspire to with time and patience and nourishment. With every breath, feeling the lengthening of the back and the spine. Really visualizing your back elongating. Feeling a nice form of release and a deep form of release with every breath. And we'll take one more last full cycle of breath in this position, last opportunity to get a little bit deeper into our melting heart position today. And on your next exhalation, bringing the palms back down onto the earth if you had it lifted, and gently bringing your eye gaze away from the floor, resetting those hips for just a moment, and resting in a nice kneeling position if that feels comfortable. And holding here for just a moment to allow your body to reset everything back into alignment and neutral. And when you feel ready, we'll go ahead and prepare for the last pose. It's going to be heavily and deeply nourishing for our upper back and a little bit of arms and lat muscles. And we're gonna go ahead and come into something similar that we were just in, except we're gonna be a little bit more focused on the upper back now, deeply with the arms. And now we're gonna go ahead and tuck now the toes down onto the floor and coming back into our tabletop position. Now from here, we're gonna gently bring your hips back like we were doing if you had yourself in a child's pose, kind of similar here. And we're gonna walk the right hand first, the palm, about 2 hands distance away from that neutral position in tabletop. And on your next inhalation, bringing your arm up into a beautiful T spine twist here. And on your next exhalation, threading through that left arm in between your lats and your arm and your elbow of the right side. And here, if you'd like to take this deeper, you can feel free to walk the palm of the right, the top hand a little bit further to get a little bit of a deeper enhancement for the top arm as well. Now, for my friends who like to stay here, feel free to just stay for a moment here and rest. But for my friends who want to take this deeper, you can feel free to bring the top arm off the floor and bring it back behind your low back on the left side here on the opposite side. And you can feel free to bring the fingertips of the right to thread and meet that left thigh. So essentially we're just bringing it up and over and bringing the fingertips towards the front of that left thigh. Only if this feels right for you today. And again, keeping your hips nice and heavy. If you'd like to adjust a little bit and shift your hips a little bit more back actively, you can do that as well, but we can just hang out here and just rest and recover into the upper body here and a little bit of the arms today and that shoulder, actively feeling a nice lengthening through the sidelines and the back line all together, just nourishing on this one side. A lot of the poses that we do in this series is very, very good also for posture and alignment. So I hope that you'll enjoy the poses that we go over. It's a little bit different than a traditional strengthening form. It can be strengthening in those positions, but mostly meant to recover and release those muscles that tend to be a little bit more tired and fatigued, and feeling a nice openness with time in the series in a slower pace. Staying here for a couple more moments before switching to the other side. Keeping your eye gaze softly open
or closed. A reminder to keep your facial features gentle. If you find yourself scrunching your nose or your forehead, your eyes, gently open through the mouth just a little bit, creating a beautiful opening through the front line, really relaxing your jaw muscles and just trying to feel effortless with every breath, releasing any tension in the face and the neck. And on your next exhalation, if you did have the bind in the hand above, feel free to bring it back. Bring the palm closer back into that neutral position of tabletop, pressing into that top arm with the bringing the ears and the face away from the floor with the arm. And now slowly switching to the other side. Now coming into the left palm, into that neutral position. That right hand is going to come up on your next inhalation. Really reach and lengthen through the top arm. And gently bringing that right arm now all the way threaded through. And again, taking either just staying here or coming into a little bit more of an intense position with the top arm reaching more forward, or bringing that top arm up and over, threading it through to the opposite thigh here. And again, the eye gaze is looking to the same side of that palm facing up towards the sky, which is the right side now. Keeping the eye gaze closed or gently open, but really trying to relax everything here and drawing more attention into the shoulder, the back, and the arm here. And you might find as we go through the sides today that one side might be even slightly more intense, more tight, more sore than the other side. Again, not judging any of the sensations that we're feeling today, but just taking these moments to be aware of the sensations, but not to judge those sensations. If you do feel any soreness or tightness intensely here, using the breath, further deepening the breath by taking a longer inhalation, taking a moment longer to really open through the lungs, and exhalation completely, again pressing your navel in towards your back and pressing and feeling that fire in our abdomen as we exhale completely, and finding a depth in the breath with every single breath, drawing more attention to the breath than the tension areas so that you can deeply relax and restore those areas that might need a little bit more care and love through daily lives. Staying here for one more full cycle of breath. Last time to take this deeper before concluding this beautiful session we created today. And on your next exhalation, slowly bringing the hand back onto the floor if you had it behind you, gently pressing away from the floor and coming back into our neutral position,
just staying a moment in a kneeling position, or if the kneeling does not feel comfortable, feel free to just come back into a crisscross position. Again, gently taking a moment to rest. You can keep the eyes closed here. Just coming back into our neutral position. My gaze is heavy. The crown of the head and the neck is uplifted with the heart. Feeling a beautiful opening through our back today. Feeling a nice sensation of release in this practice today, although it is a shorter form of what we usually do on this channel. I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and if y'all are following this series, I will see y'all for day 4, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for taking the time for yourself today to join this practice, and I will see y'all tomorrow.